Welcome back to the Prison Professors Program. I'm so grateful to my friend and mentor, Imaad Zuberi. He was so generous with his time. He runs a very large business that he talks about how he built in the entrepreneurial mindset because he wants people to understand how to create their own income streams and businesses, even if they're living in struggle. And when I told Imaad that we are bringing programs into jails and prisons across America, I asked him if he would be kind enough to share his wisdom with us. He didn't only volunteer the time, he said that he would write a book about it, and he did. And so I'm making this available to anybody in our course so that they can learn from Imaad just like I have learned from Imaad. In the first episode, we spoke about the importance of developing basic skills. In the second episode, Imaad told us about how he used his early commitment to education to open opportunities in finance and business. And today, we're going to talk about some of the different ways that his early education related to other opportunities. And one of those opportunities you pursued, Imaad, was real estate. Could you walk us through how you began your career in real estate and what you did to raise capital?
Sure. So initially, I was doing real estate analysis for an insurance company and a mutual fund company. That's how I learned how to invest in real estate. Investing in real estate, of course, it's there's a there's a saying, you're not going to grow. God doesn't give you any more land than there is on earth. So real estate is a thing that you don't get any more of. And real estate over time, not as good as the stock market, but it's the second best investment in my mind after stock market. Overall, real estate grows. Not only you get rent income, but appreciation of the price of the real estate that you buy. So real estate, I don't think in the long term or even in the medium term, maybe in the short term, you might lose, but in the medium to long term, you are not going to lose in real estate. And real estate is easy to invest in. If you have a bank that you bank with, all you have to do is put down, even if it's for your own residential living, you put down a mortgage, a down payment deposit of anywhere between 5 to 50% if it's commercial real estate, and then you let the rent pay for the mortgage, and basically you're earning. Not only are you saving money on paying rent if it's your own house or home, but if you're investing, you let the renter pay the rent, and that rent pays the mortgage. So you're not only keeping money for the rent, but also the land that's appreciating, the real estate that's appreciating. So it's a double-edged benefit. That's how I feel. I mean, we're just talking basics of real estate, not anything, not any details. But real estate, you can never go wrong. And I believe everybody should own a home instead of renting, just because, rent is being thrown away. Unless the real estate market is going down, then you can wait to buy until the prices are down.
A lot of the people that are listening to this are going to, want to be involved in real estate, but they may not have 5 to 10% to put down. Could you help us understand a little bit about this concept of, using other people's money to buy real estate, maybe even doing no money down transactions?
Sure.
If you've ever done a no money down transaction, could you walk us through the process to do that?
Sure. I've never done a no money down transaction. I've always put down significant down payment by borrowing money from others or having investors in take take ownership. However, there are programs with no money down, especially if you're a veteran. There are programs to help support through Veterans Administration and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, different programs that, if not no money down, almost no money down, like 2 or 3%. And again, if you're buying a house and you borrow from your relatives or your friends, you can easily pay them back through the rent. So, I mean, you can, in my opinion, it's always smart to buy your own place as soon as you can afford it. You have a steady job and or income through your business if you start a small business. Um, but there are a lot of programs that you can do with no money down, especially if you're a veteran.
So I'm going to give you a flip side to that, and it's really something I've learned a lot about in reading your book, The Entrepreneurial Mindset, and I think other people can as well. And that's really this art that we spoke about in one of the earlier episodes about critical thinking. And as somebody who was in prison for 26 years, I can tell you that there's another way of doing nothing down real estate, and that's earning the trust of a successful business guy like Imaad. If I'm willing to put in the time and the energy and the work and build a story of how I am somebody that can work, Imaad is a busy guy. He probably doesn't have time to look for all of the deals. But if I go out and I've developed a skill set that I can communicate well, I can do math well, I can create a business plan, I can do all of that legwork and then bring Imaad 15 deals and say, Imaad, here are 15 deals. Is it possible that one of these might make sense for you? And if it does, could you put the capital up and give, and I'd like to earn a slice of the profit, not even the equity, just the profit. If I can, I negotiated a deal, Imaad, and Imaad, what are the size of real estate deals that you've typically done over the past 5 years?
Anywhere between 5 million to 18 million.
So look at the math on that if you're sitting inside of a jail cell. Now, Imaad's a very successful guy, so he doesn't have to do this. But as somebody who was in prison for 26 years, this is how I built my business, because I came out with a 0, 0, 0 credit score. But you know what I did is I learned from experts like Imaad Zuberi. Okay. He talks about building something out of nothing, using nothing but your ingenuity and your work ethic. And I could say, okay, Imaad, I know you're looking for deals in the $10 million range. I'm going to find you a deal. This is why I think it makes sense. I think we can buy it this level. I think we can sell it in 3 years for 14 million. There'll be a $4 million spread. If I can find you that transaction, can I earn a 5%, a 7%, a 9% yield? And if I sold that idea to you, would that bring value to you, Imaad?
Absolutely. And especially if you have a certain skill set. For example, you buy something for, say, $5 million and it has 10 apartments. And you improve the apartment, say, the apartments you're renting for, say, $800 per apartment. And you improve it, you improve the kitchen, you improve the floor, you improve the bathroom, and you paint, and you make sure it has good curb appeal outside, it looks good. And you increase the rent from 800 to, say, maybe 1,000 or 1,200. If you do that, the value of the property increases. Then you can sell it to another investor because the rents are higher than what you bought it for. That's what matters, what the rent is, what the income is, what the cash flow is coming out. And if you can do that and you bring a proposal to buy a building for 5 million and you increase rent from, say, 10 apartment, 1,000, from 10,000 to 10 apartments for one apartment rental for 1,200. Of course, the value of the property is going to be higher when you sell, and sharing 5-10% of the increase depreciation, absolutely. I mean, because it's just you're doing the work, then you should get benefit out of it as well.
So that's the reason that we really encourage you at Prison Professors to invest in yourself first. You don't need to do anything buying real estate right now. You may not be able to do that while you're in prison, but if you invest in yourself first, in figuring out how do I develop my critical thinking skills so I can go around and find what are the markets that appeal to Imaad, because Imaad's a businessman. And as a businessman, there's one commodity that he can't replicate, and that's time. He doesn't have time to go look for all kinds of deals, but we do. And so if you want to do nothing down real estate, the first thing you've got to invest in is yourself. Learn how to put words into sentences, sentences into paragraphs. Learn how to be very skillful at just basic arithmetic, because you just told he's not asking you to do too much other than say, oh, rents are $800 a month. If I do these improvements, it'll be worth $1,000 a month. That's $200 a month. Now, he spoke about a deal with 10 units. So you're talking about $200 a month increase times 10. That's $2,000 a month times 12 months in a year. That's $240,000. I mean, it's growing exponentially. Now I want you to do the math on that if bringing him a 100-unit deal. And you can see there are transactions that you can have a piece of the upside on $5 million, $10 million, $15 million transactions if you can bring the value. If you come back and say a guy like Imaad, hey, I was in jail and I just learned how to keep up with the Kardashians and watch TV, you're probably not going to do a deal with Imaad. But if you can show him how hard you worked, I can bring value, then you're an asset to somebody like him. And that's what you need to be thinking about today. Any comments on that, Imaad?
No, that's true. While you're incarcerated, or if you're in the military and you have extra time, you should be learning. If you think of what you want to do when you're out in civilian life, learn as much and read as much as you can, or watch videos of things you want to do, and to get abreast of what you want to do.
Well, I learned these techniques from the Entrepreneurial Mindset, the book. We're listening to the author, Imaad Zuberi, right now. I really want to thank you for taking this time to film 3 back-to-back episodes with us. I'm wondering if you could come back to us a few more times so that we could put a series together where we are helping people in jail and prison really master the concepts that you've written about and that we'll be distributing. And if you can carve out, I know how busy your schedule is, but would it be okay if we had you back on as a recurring guest?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Excellent. So we've been listening to Imaad Zuberi, the business executive, graduate of University of Southern California, private equity investor, and just an incredible man to devote so much time that we can use to teach other people who are living in struggle. Thanks so much.
Thank you.